and thinking they're thinking money, of course, and I understand that. But I'm thinking entirely different. You know, this was a home, a beautiful home, and it was never going to happen. It was never going to be sold, ever, ever.
What if we told you that one of the most iconic estates in America, Graceland, almost slipped through the hands of its rightful heir, and that behind it all was a shocking power struggle involving none other than Priscilla Presley? In a twist no one saw coming, Priscilla Presley attempted to claim control of Graceland, despite Elvis Presley's clear wishes. But how did it all go down, and what was the true reason behind her bold move? Graceland is more than just a house. It's a symbol of rock and roll history, a pilgrimage for fans of Elvis Presley. But did you know that after Elvis's death, his estate became the subject of a fierce battle? When Elvis Presley tragically passed away in 1977, the future of Graceland was meant to be in the hands of his only daughter, Lisa Marie Presley. But there was one problem. Priscilla Presley had a plan of her own. After Elvis' death, Priscilla stepped into the role of executor of the estate, alongside other family members and advisors. However, Priscilla's control over Graceland wasn't just about running the estate, it was about something far bigger. Priscilla had an undeniable vision for Elvis's legacy, but it wasn't as simple as just keeping the property. She wanted control over the profits, the estate, and most shockingly, Graceland itself. In the early 80s, when Lisa Marie was still a minor, Priscilla became the gatekeeper of Graceland. But as Lisa Marie grew older, tensions started to rise. Was Priscilla overstepping her boundaries? Was she trying to rewrite Elvis's legacy for her own benefit? While Priscilla certainly had good intentions for maintaining Graceland's place in history, she also knew that securing the estate's future meant securing power. But here's the shocking twist. Elvis Presley had made his wishes clear before his death. He wanted his daughter, Lisa Marie, to inherit everything. No one, not even Priscilla, was supposed to have control over Graceland for long. Despite this, Priscilla made her bold move, taking steps to ensure that she stayed deeply involved in the Presley estate, even after Lisa Marie came of age. As tensions boiled over, Priscilla eventually faced backlash. How far was she willing to go? What would it cost Lisa Marie to take full control of her father's estate? Graceland is not just a house. It's an emblem of Elvis Presley's unmatched impact on music and culture. Nestled in Memphis, Tennessee, it's a place where fans from around the world visit to pay homage to one of the greatest entertainers who ever lived. The house is not just a home, it's an iconic landmark known for its extravagant decor and its connection to the man who revolutionized the music industry. But when Elvis passed away in 1977, it wasn't just his music that left a lasting legacy. It was Graceland and the enormous wealth and assets tied to it. The estate would become one of the most significant symbols of his enduring influence. However, controlling Graceland and its massive estate wasn't as simple as just inheriting a property. It would spark a battle that no one saw coming, with Priscilla Presley at the center of it all. Priscilla Presley, Elvis's ex-wife and the mother of his only child, Lisa Marie Presley, found herself in an unexpected role after Elvis's death. She became not just a widow, but the executor of the estate. While she had been married to Elvis for years, their divorce in 1973 left her with certain rights and obligations, one of which was ensuring that their daughter, Lisa Marie, would inherit her father's fortune. But despite her ex-husband's passing, Priscilla was still deeply connected to Graceland in more ways than one. While the Presley family would have their fair share of difficulties in the years to come, one fact remained clear. The control of Graceland and the wealth associated with it was a highly contested issue. Priscilla's involvement in the estate's affairs grew even stronger in the years following Elvis's death, especially as Lisa Marie was still a child and legally unable to take control of such a significant inheritance. Elvis's will, which had clearly stated that Lisa Marie would inherit his estate upon turning 25, had not taken into account the complexities of the estate itself. Priscilla, in the meantime, took charge of the property, becoming the person responsible for making important decisions. Yet her role was not just as a caretaker of Elvis's legacy, it was about controlling the financial future of Graceland. The stage was set for the power struggle that would take years to unfold. With Graceland being both a property and a brand, Priscilla knew the key to preserving Elvis's legacy was also in controlling it financially. However, there were bound to be conflicts about who had the right to make those decisions. As the years passed, tensions began to rise between Priscilla Presley and her daughter Lisa Marie Presley. Although Priscilla was committed to ensuring that Lisa Marie would inherit the estate, it wasn't clear who would hold the reins of Graceland until Lisa Marie was of age. In the 1980s, when Lisa Marie reached her teens, Priscilla still held significant control over Elvis's estate. But this did not sit well with some, and it led to a growing rift between mother and daughter. Despite the fact that Lisa Marie was the sole heir, she could not yet make the crucial decisions for Graceland until she came of legal age. Priscilla had a vision for Graceland's future that included ensuring it became a profitable tourist attraction and a legacy of Elvis's status as an entertainment icon. But in the process, Priscilla's influence over the Presley estate became more about financial gain than the preservation of Elvis's personal history. By the time Lisa Marie reached adulthood, she found herself in a difficult position. Priscilla had established herself as the ultimate gatekeeper of Graceland, but Lisa Marie was legally the rightful heir. Yet Priscilla had worked tirelessly to maintain control over the estate during the years of Lisa Marie's childhood. While Priscilla may have been acting in the best interests of her daughter, the situation was further complicated by financial interests, public perceptions, and the pressure of keeping Elvis's legacy alive for future generations. Graceland, in many ways, had evolved into a business venture, one that brought in millions in tourism and product licensing. And Priscilla knew the only way to keep that success alive was to maintain her position at the helm. But at what cost? As Lisa Marie struggled to assert her control, the growing tension between the two women revealed the hidden complexities of family loyalty, ownership, and legacy. Would Priscilla's insistence on maintaining control lead to a rupture in her relationship with Lisa Marie? And could Lisa Marie ever truly take full control of Graceland, or would her mother continue to hold the keys to the estate, both literally and figuratively? The battle for Graceland had just begun, and the stakes were higher than anyone could have anticipated. In the end, Priscilla's attempt to control Graceland was a story of family loyalty, financial power, and the complicated dynamics of a family that lived in the shadow of Elvis Presley's legendary status. By the time Lisa Marie Presley was nearing adulthood, the power dynamic surrounding Graceland had already been set into motion. Priscilla Presley, now firmly in control of the estate, knew that securing the financial future of Graceland was paramount. But the question remained, would she let go of the reins once Lisa Marie was of age, or would she continue to assert herself as the estate's leader? Priscilla understood something that few others fully grasped. Graceland wasn't just a mansion. It was a brand, a living, breathing symbol of Elvis Presley's legacy that had to be managed with incredible precision. While the public viewed it as a tribute to Elvis, Priscilla knew its true potential. It wasn't merely a place where fans came to mourn, it was a multi-million-dollar empire, a tourist destination, and a way to continue earning from Elvis's likeness, music, and merchandise for decades to come. As Elvis's ex-wife, Priscilla was uniquely positioned to oversee the estate. She knew better than anyone that preserving the estate's financial worth was just as important as protecting the physical house. She saw potential for Graceland to evolve into a global attraction. Not only was Graceland a tribute to Elvis's life and work, but it could also become a museum, a living piece of history for fans to relive Elvis's rise to fame. But what Priscilla didn't anticipate was how complicated this vision would become. Priscilla became more than just a caretaker. She became the figurehead for the estate, signing deals, making business moves, and handling Graceland's complex finances. She became the public face of Elvis's legacy, and many began to see her as the key figure behind the success of Graceland. However, the deeper Priscilla became involved, the more she would face criticism, especially when it came to the delicate issue of inheritance. Lisa Marie Presley, her daughter, was growing up and would soon come into her inheritance. Priscilla had for years kept Graceland in her grasp, but would she be able to step aside when the time came? Would she willingly give up her control over the estate, or would the lure of keeping the empire intact prove too great to ignore? The situation was made even more complicated by the fact that Priscilla had to balance her own interests with what she believed was best for Lisa Marie. It wasn't a decision that Priscilla took lightly, and in the years that followed, she worked tirelessly to secure Graceland's future in a way that would benefit both her and her daughter. But the question remained, could she really give up control, or would she attempt to secure her role in Graceland's future at any cost? While Priscilla worked diligently to make Graceland a profitable, sustainable venture, Elvis Presley's last will and testament remained a central piece of the puzzle. Elvis, ever the private man, had made it clear that he wanted his daughter, Lisa Marie, to inherit everything upon reaching the age of 25. He specifically wanted her to have full control over the estate, including Graceland. The only issue? Elvis had never anticipated how complicated his inheritance would become. Priscilla knew her ex-husband's wishes well. Elvis had written the will with a clear vision for his daughter's future, but Priscilla also understood the practical challenges involved. Lisa Marie was still a child at the time of his death, and there were no immediate plans for her to take the reign. So Priscilla stepped in as executor, a role she would hold for several years. In doing so, she made decisions on behalf of the estate and, by extension, on behalf of her daughter, whom she felt had yet to fully grasp the weight of the responsibility. The problem, however, was that Elvis had created a blueprint for his estate, but it was based on assumptions that no one could have predicted. Lisa Marie, while the heir to everything, was not yet in a position to understand the business decisions involved in running such a large legacy. Therefore, Priscilla, as her mother and the caretaker of the estate, took it upon herself to safeguard both Lisa Marie's inheritance and the future of Graceland. But there was a conflict. Elvis's will stipulated that Lisa Marie was to inherit Graceland and all its associated wealth upon reaching 25. But it wasn't clear what would happen in the years leading up to that point. Would Priscilla, who had been instrumental in managing Graceland, be allowed to continue to hold a dominant role in the estate? Or would she be forced to give up control once Lisa Marie was legally able to take it over? Elvis's final wishes created a complicated roadmap for the future. Lisa Marie, while entitled to the estate, was still a young woman and not prepared for the enormous responsibility that came with it. Priscilla knew this firsthand, and she had the experience and vision to steer the ship. But it didn't mean that Priscilla could simply bypass her daughter's inheritance rights. As the years went on, the battle between Priscilla's desire to maintain control and Lisa Marie's rights as the rightful heir became more evident. Would Priscilla's love for Elvis and her daughter allow her to let go when the time came? Or would the power and control over Graceland be too much for her to relinquish? By the time Lisa Marie turned 25 in 1993, the situation surrounding Graceland had reached a boiling point. Priscilla had spent over a decade handling the affairs of the estate, making decisions for the future, and ensuring that Graceland remained financially successful. But now, the time had come for Lisa Marie to take her place as the rightful owner of the estate. Despite her age, Lisa Marie was not completely prepared for the responsibility that came with managing the Presley legacy. While she had grown up surrounded by the riches and fame that came with being Elvis Presley's daughter, she was still a young woman with little experience in the complexities of managing a massive estate like Graceland. Yet the pressure was undeniable. Lisa Marie had the right to control Graceland, but it was clear that Priscilla was not ready to give up her position. The tension between mother and daughter only escalated. Priscilla, who had worked so hard to build Graceland into the successful business it had become, had no intention of stepping aside easily. She had established herself as the face of Graceland, a brand that was now recognized all over the world. She had secured countless deals, maintained the upkeep of the mansion, and brought in millions of dollars through tourism and licensing agreements. To let go of Graceland, especially after all the work she had done, was not something Priscilla could do overnight. Lisa Marie, on the other hand, found herself caught in the middle of a conflict she wasn't prepared for. She had spent her childhood under Priscilla's guidance, but now, as an adult, she was expected to take charge. Yet how could she take control of something that Priscilla had built into an empire? How could she challenge the woman who had fought to protect her inheritance and secure the financial future of Graceland? The tension between the two women reached its peak as the realization set in that Priscilla might not simply step aside as Elvis's will had intended. Graceland had become more than just a family home. It was a financial powerhouse, and both Priscilla and Lisa Marie were now deeply invested in its future. But would Lisa Marie be able to reclaim what was rightfully hers, or would Priscilla remain in control for years to come? Despite the fact that Elvis had intended for his daughter to inherit everything, the family that had once been united by love and tragedy was now divided by power, money, and legacy. The battle for control of Graceland was no longer just about protecting Elvis's memory. It was about who would hold the keys to one of the most iconic properties in America and who would ultimately determine the future of the Presley Empire. As the years passed and Lisa Marie Presley settled into her role as the official owner of Graceland, the challenges for both her and her mother Priscilla were far from over. Priscilla, despite being well aware of the will's instructions, could not simply let go of the reins she had worked so hard to maintain. Even after Lisa Marie officially took ownership at the age of 25, Priscilla's position as a trusted advisor remained incredibly powerful. Priscilla's continued presence at Graceland wasn't just out of sentimental attachment. She had poured years of effort into ensuring that Elvis's estate thrived after his death, and in doing so, she had built herself a position of influence in the Presley legacy. The reality was that Graceland was not just a historical landmark, it was a business. It was a machine that required constant care and management, something that Priscilla had become uniquely skilled at. While Lisa Marie was technically the heir, Priscilla knew the weight of responsibility that came with managing Graceland and all of its financial complexities. There were contracts to sign, promotional deals to negotiate, and an empire to protect. Lisa Marie had to navigate the fine line between honoring her father's legacy and building her own path. For Priscilla, it was about ensuring that Elvis's memory remained intact, a fight she had committed to from the moment of his death. But the tension between mother and daughter remained undeniable. While Priscilla had always acted with Lisa Marie's best interests in mind, her strong-willed approach created feelings of distance and frustration. Lisa Marie had to find her own voice as the new head of the Presley estate, but it was clear that Priscilla wasn't ready to step back. She had the knowledge, the experience, and the control. Yet she also had the unwavering desire to maintain the Presley legacy in the way she believed Elvis would have wanted. The dynamics between them continued to shift as Lisa Marie, now an adult, fought to establish her own identity beyond being Elvis's daughter. This wasn't just a struggle for control of an estate, it was about defining her own role in her father's story, something that was harder than it appeared. The pressure of living up to Elvis's legendary status was enormous, and Lisa Marie felt it acutely. Would Priscilla ever let go of her position at the helm of Graceland? Despite the ongoing tension, Priscilla did gradually step back from her direct involvement. In time, Lisa Marie took on more responsibility, though the shadows of the past and Priscilla's presence were always lingering. The question of whether Priscilla truly relinquished control remained open, especially as Lisa Marie continued to navigate the complex legacy left by her father. The battle for control of Graceland was much more than a power struggle. It was a story of family, loyalty, and the lasting influence of Elvis Presley. Priscilla Presley's bold attempt to hold on to the estate was driven by love for her daughter, a desire to protect Elvis' memory, and a deep understanding of how important Graceland was to preserving Elvis's place in history. But in doing so, she often found herself at odds with Lisa Marie, who had every right to take control of the estate, as her father had intended. While Priscilla's actions may have been controversial, they were motivated by a powerful sense of responsibility. She was not simply a mother trying to hold on to her past, but a woman who saw herself as the guardian of Elvis's legacy, a legacy that had global significance and untold financial potential. For Priscilla, keeping Graceland alive and thriving was the most important task, and she would go to great lengths to ensure that it continued to honor Elvis, even if that meant staying involved longer than expected. Lisa Marie, on the other hand, struggled with the weight of being Elvis Presley's daughter. She faced the daunting task of not only inheriting her father's estate, but also finding her own way in the world while maintaining the legacy he had left behind. The pressure was immense, and with Priscilla's continuing influence, it took time for Lisa Marie to fully take ownership of Graceland and its future. Ultimately, the question of who truly holds the keys to Graceland is one of legacy, power, and family dynamic. Priscilla Presley, who fought so hard to protect the estate, could not keep control forever. Yet her influence on the Presley legacy is undeniable. Lisa Marie, now fully in charge, carries on her father's legacy while navigating the complexities of running one of the most famous estates in the world. The battle may have been fierce, but the Presley legacy remains intact. Graceland continues to stand as a testament to Elvis's extraordinary life and influence. And as Lisa Marie Presley now leads the estate, there's no doubt that the story of Graceland and its iconic status will continue to evolve. What do you think about Priscilla Presley's attempt to control Graceland? Was she just trying to protect her daughter's future, or was there something deeper at play? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more unbelievable stories about iconic figures and family legacies that shaped history.